Hello and welcome to this edition of SFG Top Performance Podcast. Mike and I will take you through the grain and feed news as we know it this morning. Grain markets, we're definitely into a weather market. We've talked about this for the last month, 6 weeks. Some of the areas, particularly in our trade area, have been getting dry and missing a lot of the rains. On the other hand, we've got a section to the north of our trade area that it couldn't look any better. They've been fortunate, gotten regular rains, got the crop in early, and every week we get closer to them having a bona fide crop. But the eastern corn belt is the dry area. In Illinois this past week, the good to excellent corn ratings dropped down to 39%, and that's almost a record low in modern times for them. Even nationwide, the good to excellent dropped 3%, which was more than or they dropped 6% actually, and that was 3% more than the trade expected. So that gave us a boost, and of course the report was a day late because of Monday's holiday. So on Wednesday we got quite a boost. Beans were up 30 plus, corn was up 20 plus. Today we're getting a little bit of setback. On the bean side, part of that's an announcement that was made Wednesday by the EPA that they were going to back off of their blending demands on biodiesel. And this goes kind of back to the food versus fuel debate. Some people are lobbying that we're using too much of the veg oils in the fuel and that's raising the price of the edible oil that is used in baking and things like that. So for the moment, the EPA seems to be siding with the other side. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out because we've got several processing plants either started or on the books to start in the immediate future because of the demand for soy oil and what we call the green fuel of the future. And that would include jet fuel down the road. We think we can produce a lot of jet fuel from renewable sources. So that could see how that plays out. Old crop basis is kind of widened out as we went up. Pretty normal. Them companies, their number one goal is to buy all the grain they need at the cheapest price they can pay for it. And so as farmers start to let loose some more grain, we'll probably see the basis widen out. However, they may find there's not as much grain out here left to buy in the next 2 months to get them to harvest, and so they'll have to retreat and bring that basis level back up. New crop corn yesterday went above 575 locally. It wasn't but 2 weeks ago we was about 90 cents cheaper, so that's quite a reversal in a short amount of time. And probably at the level a guy should maybe consider starting to price some corn, get something on the books to protect yourself and hope that the next sale's a little higher. New crop beans, we're right in that $13 range, falling back some today, of course, but that might be a short hiccup, we hope. But anyway, if we're back in that $13 range, definitely a place to start some sales. And with that, suddenly everybody's concerned. A lot of people are concerned in the drier areas. What am I going to have to sell? And that's a hard question to answer. Every year somebody's got to come up with an answer for that. But don't be afraid to price out, 10, 20%. At least get some harvest costs covered for the fall. Meanwhile, the current export sales continue to struggle. There hasn't been a corn sale for probably 50 days. There's just not a lot of activity. Right now, Brazil is harvesting their safrinha, their second crop corn. When they planted on the late side, there was concern that the heat would get it. But they've had some beautiful weather down there, so they've got ample supplies. And they'll be the go-to for corn for the next probably 6 weeks or so until our harvest starts. New USDA reports will be out June 30th on a Friday, the end of the month, and it will pertain to an updated acreage report, what was actually planted in their eyes. It won't be the final one, but it'll be a little more accurate what they've got. And then a stocks report. Real quick, the funds have reversed course on the corn. They're now 59,000 long as of last night, and 114,000 contracts long on beans. So that shows where the buying power has been. Mike, let's turn it over to you and talk cattle and feed.
Okay, thanks, Mark, for the corn thing, which I know is all on your minds, and the challenge, the weather and whatnot. So work with Mark on your grain marketing. Well, first of all, for those of you that are sitting, unfortunately, where things aren't the greatest for mama cow and the calf, and we're breeding time, and I've mentioned to you before, at breeding time they could use more energy. So call us about the protein tubs, so we can get some energy in there at breeding time to help get them bred, and also at the same time as giving them some protein and helps the condition of the cow at the same time, and maybe not have to feed them quite as much hay for those of you that are already starting to do some of that. So if you don't want to do that, you got your own corn. Just take corn and gluten mix, and I know they're out on pasture, but the corn and gluten pellets, they're going to clean it up off the ground. You're only going to do it for 30 to 45 days anyway to get some energy into them. Between 3 and 5 pounds, depends on whether it's smaller heifers or bigger cows that you're doing that. The other options you guys got is we can get you what's called a crystal blocks. It's a high distiller's tub. It's a 200-pound plastic tub with the protein and vitamins that looks like a star in the middle of it. And the reason that this came out is a 200-pound plastic tub, or 200-pound biodegradable tub, sorry. And the container that this product is in, they've spent a lot of time, went through a lot of tests on it, and it's treated with the wax on the outside and the inside so it can withstand rain, mud, whatever. It really does. And the cows will every cow is different. They found this out. Some cows will sit there and kind of eat the distillers, and then they'll start on the middle star. Some will eat it all the way down. Some will eat the center out for a little while, and then they'll just start chewing on that container also, and then take it on down. So it's a way of getting the tub of any kind, any time of the year, putting it out. Don't have to worry about returning the steel tub. Don't have to worry about the plastic tub. And they're very economical because it's a distiller's base. So food for thought. Guys, the steel tub things, I'm not saying tomorrow, but it's going to go away. They're tired of hauling them around. They're tired of replenishing them, and the cost is just going to continue to go up. So, and you can only use so many plastic tubs. The guys tell me I only need so many waters. I only need flower pots. So, take a look at the tub that is biodegradable, and the cows eat it along with the product. So, and they're priced right. If you don't have creep feed out, for those of you that are in the areas that are fighting this dry pastures and so forth, and we're trying to get the cows bred, they should have already been on creep feed. But get the creep feed out there. If you need creep feeders, we rent them, $2.50 a day. First come, first serve on the creep feeders. If you have to early wean, there's a lot of guys talking about it. Because mama's milk is high in protein and fat, if you're going to early wean those calves, they need extra protein, they need extra energy, they need additional vitamin E to help with that immune status of early weaning. And the product we're going to have is flavored also. But you need to feed about 50 to 100 pounds of it per calf, and then you can go over to regular creep. So it's a way of helping those little guys overcome that early weaning then. So the product is called First Feed. Like I said, 50 to 100 pounds per calf, and then they can go on regular creep. So creep feed pays. I'll just review that again. 6 pounds of a pelleted creep feed per pound of gain. That's $1.11 today. And as you already know, calves are bringing $2.40 plus and on up. So every pound is worth a lot of money. Plus, we're taking a lot of pressure off of mama so we can keep her in condition, because otherwise we're going to come into fall and she's going to be too thin and you can't play catch up and you're going to be short of feed anyway. Coccidiosis is in every herd. It's just there, and stresses are gonna bring it on. So be watching the calves and so forth, whether it's calves with cows or you got calves out on pasture. Any kind of stress is going to cause the cocci to break. And always the best way is, because when they're sick, is to put it in the water, is to use Corid in the water. Corid is the only thing that'll take care of it. Otherwise, amprolium crumbles can be mixed with grain, or if they're in the lot, to treat them right away. But anytime they're feeling doping, you see a little brownish gray and maybe a little bit of red tinge in there, the easiest way to get them over it right away is put Corid in the water to stop it, and then follow up for the next 21 to 28 days with either Corid or amprolium in a feed mix, so we break that recycle. But stress is going to bring it on. It's in every herd. You can ask your vet about it. It's there, and the stress is going to bring it on, so watch for it. The last thing is Hubbard has been working for quite a while on the sheep and goat program. So if you're getting little kids and raising them up to 60 pounds and selling them, if you got sheep operation, they've worked on a new program which has been quite successful. Over in Kelowna, Iowa, there's all kinds of milking goats and kids raised over there, and up in Wisconsin, thousands of them, and they've done all the work on it. So talk to us about our new Blueprint Sheep Mineral, starters, growers, completes, the mineral supplements. The performance is there, the improved health is there, and so give us a call and talk to us about that. So again, we thank you for your business, and let us help you through these challenging times. We're only a phone call away, so give us a call. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. That wraps up this edition. We look forward to seeing you again in a couple weeks.